started certainly in Sweden. I left when I was about 15, and I've been everywhere. So I've lived in France, I've lived in Australia, I've lived in India, I've lived in Bangladesh, I've lived a little bit everywhere. And I'm Swedish, French, Australian. That's in a nutshell. Yeah. And I've been working with homeless people for about 40 years.
And how long have you been in Bunbury?
Bunbury about five or six, I think.
And fantastic, you kind of then taking the lead on this around homelessness. What's inspired you to do that?
Because I don't like people not having anywhere to live. And if you ask me, I would like there to be no soup van, no night shelters, no charities working with the homeless and handing out clothes for the winter and so on. Yeah. I would like everyone to have somewhere to live, yes, and enough to eat and enough money to buy clothes and whatever they need. And that's just not happening except in Finland.
Yes, Finland, who have ended functional homelessness, that's right.
They have no homelessness. Yes, yes. Because if somebody is homeless, the first thing they do, that's what we should do, they give them somewhere to live. Yep. And then they start trying to solve their other problems.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah. How's the housing first approach, which is really
that's a real housing first, because
we talk about it here. That's what we're meant to be doing here as well, but we're not doing it.
Yeah, we have housing first in Bunbury, but there is no housing.
Yeah.
Was there, when you shifted to Bunbury, was there something that surprised you, or anything that surprised you around the issue with homelessness here? Or that prompted you to act, other than being really upset by it, obviously?
No, I'm not upset even, I'm just angry.
Angry, sorry.
So,
good on you.
It's, I used to live in Bridgetown because I was my parents' carer for 10 years. And then when they had died, I came here and I applied for social housing, and I couldn't get it because I was too rich by $5. And the $5, I don't really have them, because I have a pension from Sweden, a pension from France, and a pension from Australia. But Sweden and France take taxes on them.
Yeah.
So those $5, I'd never get them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get social housing.
Yeah.
And that meant I had 5 years before I moved to Bunbury,
yeah,
when I didn't have anything. And then, now I have a granny flat. I'm one of the fortunate.
But you can identify with the situation.
I can identify with it for myself, but even more from the work I've been doing. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I went out around Bunbury and just counted the homeless. Only the ones who were sleeping rough, sleeping on the ground, sleeping in cars, sleeping in tents. Yeah. I found more than 400, all ages, from a baby up to somebody even older than me, and that says something. And when I had counted, people came and tell me, "You didn't count me." And I said, "Where were you?" "Up on that roof." I get up on the roof to get safer during the night. And people have told me about places I missed out on. So I would think there are more than 450, probably closer to 500. The official number is 120, but that's only people who want to be identified.
Yes.
So.
Interesting. And yes, that's right. So that 120 people are on the by name list.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. That's 4 times that who are people who are silent, almost invisible homeless, and then. So, what are you asking government, especially state government, to do in this space?
I'm asking state government to help the Council of Bunbury. Council of Bunbury wants a shelter. They can't afford to run it. So they want to have support for it. Yeah. And the support shouldn't be all that difficult, because the state government is already paying for shelters in Perth.
That's right.
Why not here?
Yeah.
We're the second biggest city.
Yes. And well, why not here?
I think that, honestly, I think our local member isn't doing his job.
He's not pushing for that?
No, absolutely not.
But sure, I mean, look, I'm a visitor here, and I've only been here for, in the first few hours I've been here, I've seen a lot of street persons. And as much as I see in Perth, to be frank.
Yeah, you only have to go to the post office. You will find them sleeping on the lawns around. You will find them sleeping on the verandas of the what do you call them? Old people's club there.
Yeah.
And you will find them everywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody can walk through Bunbury without seeing at least a dozen homeless people.
And so you would like to see some a place where they could go, a kind of a shelter?
I would like to have a day and night shelter.
Yes.
So they could go in the day and be safe.
Yeah.
And they could sleep in the night and be safe. Not everyone would use it, and there wouldn't be space enough for everyone, but there would be those who really need it could come there.
And I'm assuming you'd have services there, and people who could put them in contact with the key services they might need.
I've just come back from Lismore in New South Wales, and I went to visit. They had a shelter which is everything you could dream of. It's a soup kitchen, it's a free op shop for clothes and shoes. They have got services coming in. They have got the program on a big board. There is a psychologist, there are doctors, they have liver clinics, diabetes clinics. They even have a choir, which made me laugh. They have everything. It's an old hotel, so the rooms upstairs are used for shelter.
I went past it a couple of years ago. It's amazing.
That reminds me a bit of what St Pat's do in Freo in some ways, because they've got many of those things and some crisis accommodation as well. But so there are no service providers offering that here in Bunbury, the second biggest city in Western Australia.
You have no shelter to come into. There are transitional things, but Don Punch told me there are 3 tiny houses.
That's it.
Well, and people can stay for limited time in them. That doesn't really.
So why do you think the housing and the homelessness crisis has got so much worse?
Well, about 2/3 of the people I met that night, they had been renters before, but as rent went up, well, they couldn't follow. And also, I would say about 1/4 or 1/3 could never aspire for social housing because they were earning just a little bit too much.
People who are working and unable to find housing they can afford.
Yep.
I read an extraordinary statistic earlier on today that there is 1 long-term rental for every 22 short-term rentals in this region.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Which is extraordinary. So we have a whole bunch of holiday houses. Sure, people can rent, but people who really live here, nowhere for them to go.
Yeah, that's true. And I have 3 solutions. Oh well, I have more than 3, but for the band-aid, the temporary thing, until we have housing for people. First of all, the day and night shelter. Secondly, if that isn't possible, we could have sleep buses. They have them over east, and they are quite good. When I went over east, I had them.
Good on you.
And thirdly, I have been forming communities of homeless people, living together, working together, and all the money they earn above what they need to live is used to help others. And that could be a solution here as well, because it's a defective shelter. Anyone could come.
Yes, fantastic. Oh well done on the extraordinary work that you do, and thank you for drawing attention to it all. It matters so much.